My name is Werner Puchert, and this is Finding Frequency. Listen to that. Now, you shouldn't be able to hear something because Marta and Francie went out for a bicycle ride. I think they were driving each other nuts. I'm sitting here in my little office working, and Marta has taken over some babysitting duties for the day. I think we're getting our babysitter back tomorrow. And they were driving each other insane. It was so funny to listen to that. Now, I know that sometimes I find myself in Marta's position, and our little son can be a handful. He can definitely drive you insane. And when you're the insane-driven one, you don't always see the humor. But I did have a little bit of a chuckle and a smile around the corner. Caught Marta's eye, and yes, I did get a smile back. So she took him out. They hopefully at the moment safely on the bicycle, traversing our little neighborhood. Weather outside is not super great, a little bit windy. There's definitely a chill in the air, and I think it'll be a constant from now on. I wanted to share something else too, because this week has been a tough one. I don't know, like I have these ups and downs, and then this has definitely been a bit of a downer week. I think it's because it's been thrown all over the place, and I definitely think the change of season does have an effect on me, especially since I've been here in Poland. I remember in South Africa that the change happens kind of slowly over time, and then when you see or wipe the sleep from your eyes, you're in winter. Here in Poland, it's a bit more, I feel like it's more, you can really feel it changing, and there's kind of like a little bit of a mourning period, because you know that you're going to go into an extended winter time, and then that typical Polish grayness sneaks in. I've set myself a challenge to say, like, let's see what we can do during the course of this winter to make it a little bit more interesting. And it's not all bad. I think we always tend to latch onto the memories of the cold and that kind of stuff, but there's always something cool to experience during the winter time as well. So, and I'm hoping this winter has got a few experiences in store for us. But enough about the weather. I wanted to share a small thing with you, a small story that is quite personal, but I think it meant something to me as someone who observed this actually playing out. So in previous episodes, I've mentioned about my father-in-law being in hospital and still in intensive care, and apparently up to this point he's been able to interact with people around him, which I wasn't really aware of. I also mentioned that I got this feeling that there was a disconnect between the medical practitioners and also the family, and I wasn't sure if there was really communication between either party. Now here is where I have to tip my hat to my wifey. I think it was about 2 days ago. She's sometimes a little bit of an early riser, especially if she's got a bit of tension. And I noticed that she wasn't in the bedroom. It was only me and old Francie. And I was wondering what she's up to. And it didn't really pass my mind again until she actually told me yesterday. So what happened is she got up early one morning and went outside and sat down, found the email address of the doctor, the contact details of one of the doctors or the lead practitioner over at the hospital. And she started writing a letter. Initially, I thought the letter was about addressing the issues, because that's what I would do. I like to clear things up and not necessarily fight, because when you fight with people, you don't get cooperation. It's when you collaborate and work together that you find solutions. But Marta took a whole different perspective. What she did was she asked them politely if she could write a letter to her dad, which she proceeded to do. And then the following day, when the mother-in-law phoned the hospital, there was a complete and drastic change to the people's attitude. Apparently, they did go out and actually read the letter that Marta wrote to her dad. And the person who received the letter actually spoke to Marta and encouraged her to do more, to write more to her dad. That helps. And I think that little expression from Martha's side to share some information with her dad, to reach out to her dad, because in these times, there's no real way for her to connect. You can't go to the hospital. It's still a pandemic, and they encourage you not to go there. In fact, you can't. But then we kind of sit back and we want to rely on all these technologies and whatever. But what Martha has shown is that you can still rely on other human beings. And I think in reflection, and I haven't spoken to Martha about this at all, but I had a bit of a negative feeling about the folks not cooperating or showing any compassion, or that's the feeling I got. But perhaps the same is true for us. Perhaps they also looked at us and said, these guys aren't really doing anything. They're just phoning us to find out what's going on, and then we have to tell them and do everything. And I think what Martha has shown is that she wanted to show that it's up to all of us, the family, Martha, myself, the doctors, her dad. We're all in it together in a way. We're all in this experience. We all experience it differently, and we only have our own perspectives on it. But if we share in that experience, it becomes true collaboration. And I think the fact that Martha reached out and wanted to do her little bit then inspired the doctors there, because their attitude completely changed towards us. So I think in the coming days, Martha will write even more. And that also makes a stronger connection between her and her dad, and the family and her dad. So I commend my wife today, and today I'm going, she is the extraordinary of the day. In fact, she's the extraordinary of many days. But she really outshone everybody with this little gesture of hers and taught me something with it as well. So I think that's an inspiring story to end this episode on. And yeah, just shows you that sometimes, and I mean, even I fell for this whole kind of paradigm, stuck in a paradigm of thinking is like you can only phone, you can address things, you can try and fight the man. And Martha found a whole different way. She totally reframed the problem, and then came up with a totally unique solution. So I'm going to leave it there and not be too preachy about it. I thought it was a cool story. I hope you have something cool to look forward to for today, and that there's a little bit of extraordinary waiting for you around the corner. Thanks for listening.